Kathleen Hilda Valerie Booth was an influential pioneer in the computer science field. Basic info about Kathleen: she was born on July 9th in 1922 in Stourbridge, Worcestershire, England, and died on September 29th, 2022 at 100 years old. She married her friend she met in college, Andrew Booth, in 1950. Kathleen's early life started out in Stourbridge, Worcestershire, England. There isn't too much information on her early schooling or family life, but before starting her career at Birkbeck College, she attained a bachelor's in mathematics at the University of London just 2 years before working at Birkbeck. The Birkbeck University of London was founded in 1828 by Sir George Birkbeck. It has been the location and a catalyst for many important research projects and has helped to modernize society in the 20th and 21st century. Graduates of Birkbeck have gone on to do great things. Some alumni include 5 Nobel laureates, political members, and a British Prime Minister have all gotten their education at Birkbeck. Kathleen attended here in 1946. Kathleen's main contribution to computer science was her creation of the assembly language. An assembly language is a low-level coding language that is close to binary, which is what the computer takes as input to do actions or run a program. Kathleen is credited with creating the assembly language. Her work that she accomplished at Birkbeck allowed for computers to have internal programs instead of external programs that had to be inserted into computers at the time. Some further contributions from Kathleen: the ARC, or Automatic Relay Calculator, is a computer that uses switches and fuses to calculate numbers through either simple operations or more complex programs, as well as the SEC, or the Simple Electronic Calculator, which is a rudimentary invention that takes input parameters, runs it through a program or series of calculations, and that outputs the number that it calculated onto a piece of paper. Only numbers were used in these simple calculations. What did her work do for computer science? The creation of assembly language allowed us to communicate directly with computers and be able to create more advanced technology. We were able to put people on the moon less than 30 years later after Kathleen published her findings. We were able to create IBM, which is a powerful processing company that specializes in data analytics, AI, and data storage. The language that Kathleen created was a precursor to nearly every other computer coding language, and they wouldn't have been possible without the hard work of Kathleen. Without her, our world would arguably be much more primitive than it is now. Some further contributions or results of her work: IBM, which is a powerful company that specializes in computers that do intense calculations that wouldn't be possible without their rooms of servers and buildings of servers. They also do a lot of work for other companies, as in data management and storage, as well as they were a main part in the space race. They also helped to develop the modern image of the internet. Before IBM, there was something called the British Tabulating Company. The British Tabulating Company was an early iteration of what IBM would eventually become. They were a company that specialized in automatic computer-centered calculations for businesses. They also sold their tabulating machines. The picture shown is their factory for producing their tabulating machines. The British Tabulating Company specializes in mechanical computers that would solve simple problems much quicker than the human mind is capable of doing. More contributions: modern coding language. Without the creation of Kathleen's assembly language, there would have been no way to create modern, high-level languages like Java, JavaScript, Python, or C++. We would not have many of the luxuries that we get to experience today and take for granted without the hard work of Kathleen. Another accomplishment that Kathleen did at her time at Birkbeck was the Apex C programming guide. Kathleen and her husband created the first API guide for building and programming their computing machine. This was the first guide to implicitly explain how to make this machine that they sold do what you want it to. They published this API in April of 1954. Why did Kathleen's contributions mean so much? This was especially impressive at the time because Kathleen was a woman in a field that was dominated by primarily men at the time. This empowered women at the time to pursue more masculine fields of work. Without Kathleen's contributions to the field of computer science, there is no way our world would be as advanced as it is. It could be argued that we would not have phones, satellites, computers, life-saving medical equipment, or anything else that uses internal programs. Her discovery was vital to the human race moving forward and advancing.